Kelley Thornton, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Bora. Very excited to chat with you. 2 Kellys in a row.
Kelley, can you walk us through the story of how Tiege Hanley got started? What made you think men need better skincare options?
Yeah. Well, part of it was my own vanity. I didn't think I was looking any younger. And, at the time I had my second business, which was an in-store kind of retail strategy business. And I was spending a lot of time in store helping global brands think about the men's personal care category. So not just skincare, but how guys put deodorant and shampoo and body wash and all that stuff in. I was really enthralled with globally what was going on with men's skincare. Around the world, men were giving themselves permission to take care of themselves. Here in the U.S., I think we're kind of behind the times, and we weren't really thinking, about the importance of skincare, and particularly, SPF and the impact of the negative impact of the sun on your skin day in and day out. And we were just talking about beach life and surfing, and it's not just that. I mean, most guys are not, out surfing or out at the beach every day. Most guys are getting in their cars, going to work, outside during lunch, and these are the times that are most critical. And then back in the car and commuting, et cetera, that you're using something on your skin to protect your skin against the harmful rays of the sun. So all of these things were really coming to fruition for me. I was really thinking about men taking care of themselves, preventing skin cancer, and getting older. And all those concerns really were bothering me. And then I saw an opportunity here in the U.S. where I thought men were underserved with education about why it's important to take care of their skin. So all those things really led me into the skincare business.
Mm-hmm. You said that you saw an opportunity here in the U.S. I want to drill in that a little bit. How can people find opportunities if they want to start a new brand? What was it like? How did you find the opportunity?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I actually, one of my business partners in this business, who's a very small minority business partner, but he's an advisor to our business. I sat down with him at lunch one time, and it was actually for the business I was just describing, which is called Purchase Point, which is an in-store shopper marketing, global shopper marketing. I had about 50 people in that firm around the world. I sat down to talk to him about the idea of that company. And long story short, at the end of the dinner or end of the lunch, I said, "What do you think?" And he goes, "Well, I really don't know much about shopper marketing. The idea sounds interesting, somewhat novel. I know some other companies here in Chicago that are, kind of engaged in a similar thing you're describing, but it's all about execution. So it's all about execution, and how are you going to execute on that concept, and how is that concept going to be disruptive?" So I think my point is that anybody that's thinking about a business, it really doesn't need, you don't need to, reinvent the wheel completely. You just have to have a new take on it and be doing something slightly different than how someone else is doing it, and you need to do it in a better way. So you just need to be a little bit better at it. So you can think of it this way: are you going to copy somebody else, or are you going to innovate on that idea? And as long as what you're doing is innovating on an existing idea in a way that makes it disruptive or unique, and you're executing well on it, you should go for it. You should absolutely go for it and start your business.
Mm-hmm. And when you were trying to figure out if this could become an opportunity, were you interviewing other men? Were you finding that, they're using their wives' skincare products, or maybe there are men's skincare products, but not like a line, right, but maybe just like a men's face wash or something like that, but not an actual system? Is that what you were seeing in the early days?
Early days, we were actually, it's ironic, I was talking about this morning. We did a poll of 1,000 guys. We did a whole survey. And we found that most guys answered yes, that they wash their face. But then when we asked them what they use, they said 90% of them said water. They only use water on their face to wash their face. Mm-hmm. So we saw that there's a huge opportunity to, the pH, your skin type on your face the pH of your face and what you want to put on your face versus any other part of your body is very different. So the elasticity of skin on their face, the amount of collagen, the importance of keeping a proper pH on your face, those are all important things. Most people don't, they weren't thinking about it. They are today. A lot of guys are thinking about this today, but 7-8 years ago, there wasn't many people thinking about this. So we did do studies early on and found out that there was a lack of education.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine, and I've heard that Tiege Hanley is all about keeping things simple for guys. So,
That's right.
How did you go about making skincare less complicated when you were developing your first set of products? And what was the first 3 SKUs when you first went live from idea to first sale? I'd love to hear that journey from idea to first sale.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about uncomplicated. Uncomplicated is also a core value within our business. We're fortunate to have trademarked the word uncomplicated in e-commerce in class 35 and 25 in swag. But we really try to live an uncomplicated way of managing our business. And what that really means isn't necessarily that we're going to do things internally that don't that aren't complex. We're going to just try to make it simple for the customer. So being uncomplicated for the customer takes a lot of work on our part. We wanted to present skincare to a guy in a way that is very simple and straightforward. That these are the products that you need. This is how you use them. This is when you use them in this order. And if you just follow this simple routine, you will see incredible results. And we have, 10,000, 20,000 reviews, over 550,000 customers. And our customers tell us we see results. When we follow your system, we see results. So that's the uncomplicated part. The answer to your question about the journey, we actually started selling other people's product in a box. Same idea, routine and education, but we were putting highly curated product in a box and selling it as a system. And it wasn't very successful for us. The routine and education part of it alone wasn't enough to get guys really engaged in our brand. We knew we needed to build our own brand. So we were fortunate to meet up with a chemist who was interested in working for a small portion of equity in our business. He was 30 years in skincare chemistry, so he helped us develop our own formulas. And we started talking immediately about the process. I brought on a YouTube influencer, Aaron Marino, as a business partner, and we started talking on the internet, vlogging about the building of Tiege Hanley and why skincare is important to guys. And we did that for a whole year. So when we launched in 2016, we launched with 5,000 customers already signed up to engage with our brand. So that's from start to failure in Tiege version 1, where we were selling other people's products, to bringing on a chemist, to formulation, to finding contract manufacturers that would manufacture the product for us, talking about the process all the way through, and then launching with 5,000 customers when we started. So we immediately went from 0 to profitability in just a few months.
Mm-hmm. Kelley, you said something really interesting. You said that making things uncomplicated for people is actually a lot of work for you.
Yes.
That kind of reminded me some of the earlier conversations. I'm in the business of software. You're just building software, and you have conversations about user experience. The user experience needs to be really simple. So sometimes there's confusion. When we work with engineers, they think that their work also has to be simple.
Right.
In order for I'm like, no, actually, the software itself, building part of it could be very complicated just to make the user experience simple. It's not like a one-to-one relationship where your product, the way you build it, is also very simple. No, it doesn't work like that. So it kind of reminded me of what you said. So a couple more questions because of what you just mentioned. One of them is you mentioned that when you were curating other people's products in a box, that wasn't successful. I'm curious, why wasn't it successful?
Well, there's two reasons. One is that while those products were very unique and unique to the U.S. market, there were products that mostly were available in Europe that I had been using and discovered. You could get them. So if you really liked that product, you didn't need to come through Tiege Hanley or Tiege version 1 to get that product. You could buy it. Couldn't buy it at the time on Amazon, but you could find it online. So there's nothing ownable about the specific product. And the other thing is we're like a 30 to 35 day subscription. So those products were full-size products, and we were taking guys, we were selling something to somebody who we may never see again, but if we did see him, we wouldn't see him for 3 to 6 months. And it just wasn't, we weren't engaging with the customer nearly as much as we do at Tiege Hanley. At Tiege Hanley, our customers are coming to visit us every 35 to 60 days, or at least purchasing us from us on a high level of frequency. And so those two reasons, one, it wasn't our brand, and we were taking people out of the market from having, giving, and for them to be able to buy it someplace else, just made it not a very successful plan for us. It was kind of like Birchbox, if you're familiar with that brand.
Yes. Okay, so now let's talk about the chemist part of it. For the benefit of people who want to start something that requires some type of formulation, but they don't know where to begin unless they've watched Breaking Bad and then they know how to kind of find the chemist there or something like that. Sometimes I talk to founders, and actually funny, one women's hair care founder based out of Georgia told me that she found the chemist in Chicago, where you are. So I'm always curious, how do people find chemists?
For us, I'll tell you our story. For us, it's crazy. I mentioned Aaron Marino, business partner, who's a YouTube influencer. And I had another business partner, Rob Hoxie, wonderful man from Connecticut, who's really handled the technical part of our business, our website, and getting people signed up, and the technical aspect of our business and the website. And he was playing golf one day with this guy that he'd been, he'd known through the club in Connecticut that he's been playing at for 10 or 15 years. And they never really talked about business. And he said, I'm involved with a skincare company, and we want to develop our own formulas. And he said, by the way, that's what I do. I've been developing formulas for all the big skincare companies around the world. And Rob said, would you be interested in coming in and helping us in exchange for some equity? By the way, it was incredibly beneficial to this gentleman. He got several points of equity that ended up being, a very, very, very good financial move for this gentleman. He's actually still a very small minority partner in our business, and we talk to him regularly. But finding a chemist or finding an expert, I don't think it's that hard. I don't think it's as hard as people think. I think if you go out there and look and get in some forums on Bora, or start talking to people within the industry, you can eventually find somebody out there that has great knowledge in developing. What you want is somebody who not only understands the chemistry and whatever it is that you're doing, but also understands kind of the business side of things. That's the sweet spot. It's like finding a chemist that both understands the consumer business side and also the chemistry side. That'll allow you to unlock not only developing products, but what products are really innovative and unique, and that the market's going to like.
Mm-hmm. And Kelley, what did you tell him? Did you tell him that, look, we were selling these other people's products, and these were selling well, these weren't selling well, so let's pick the ones, like which ingredients did you decide, and how did you make that decision? How did you communicate that to him? How did he know what exactly to do based on what you had done up until then?
It was a lot of fake it till you make it. It really was. I mean, we really just said to him, we want really great formulas. And we said we really like these brands, XYZ, because of different attributes of those products, the feel on your face or the smell. He said, would you want to be natural or do you want to be effective? And I said, well, a little bit of both. We're not launching like an all-natural brand because we want our products to work really well. So it was really a lot of fake it. I mean, we really honestly said to him, can you just please give us some really good formulas? We didn't know at all what we had. We had no idea. We didn't know what we actually got from him until we started taking those formulas to contract manufacturers who began to tell us, hey, in chemistry and skincare, when a formula is developed, there's actually like each ingredient and each ingredient manufacturer and the exact ingredient is in it. So it's like, if you're baking a cake, it's like, Morton's salt and Domino's sugar and, this Italian wheat, flour, those type of things. And our contract manufacturer were like, these formulas are crazy. They're like super expensive. Nobody makes formulas like that. Why would you do that? And myself and Rob, who I mentioned earlier, we had no idea. We were just like, because that's what we want. Like that's what's important to us. That's what we really want. But we really had no idea because we let this guy go and just do what he thought was, what he really was inspired to make for us. And that was gold. It was absolutely gold because, you can sell any product once, but if you don't have a phenomenal product, people will not come back. So we spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on product development and R&D. I mean, we are constantly, every single day, we're talking about product over here. Product for us, obviously, physical product of our skincare systems. Mm-hmm. So it's just critically important to get the product right.
Yeah, I guess it's so different when you're making a skincare product for men. I imagine a lot of them, just looking at myself and my knowledge about the ingredients of skincare products was absolutely nothing. Yeah. And now I'm learning about it for two reasons. One is because of my business. I work and talk to a lot of other skincare companies and I kind of learn about the ingredients. Second one is I'm aging and I don't want to age, especially if you're surfing too. You get the crow's feet in the water, and so I try to like not look old. So I started paying attention to those kinds of things. But if you kind of talk to my wife, when she's looking to buy something, she looks at every single ingredient. She knows what it is. They're just like what the active ingredients are. But men don't care, right? They don't look at that stuff.
No. There are a small group. We're an international business, and we ship to 108 countries every month. There are people around the world, and like, and I don't want to call out any nations, but there's countries that we ship to, and they just go deep into every ingredient. And by the way, our products need to be certified and registered, in the EU and all around the world. And we spend a lot of time, and it's very time consuming getting all these ingredients registered. But guys are more concerned about the results, and they're more concerned about what other guys are saying that they're experiencing after using our products. So, people will write in every single day and say, when I used your product, I got a compliment. When I saw my barber, he said, "Hey, what are you doing? You're looking better." So those are the type of things that really motivate a dude to try our skincare. That's more of a motivation than saying, what's the no list? No parabens, no sulfites, no harmful alcohols, these type of things. Mm-hmm. So most guys are really interested in how well it performs.
Yeah. Well, I guess it goes to, correct me if I'm wrong, you have these three main tenets, right? Be sensible, uncomplicated, and affordable. Is that right?
Well, I was talking about our core values within our organization, which is, externally, our brand is guiding, our brand is friendly, our brand is very truthful, and we speak very directly. So those are some of the, and we're uncomplicated. We try to make things simple. We're a subscription company first and foremost, and I call us a modern day subscription company. You have any problems whatsoever, you can call our customer experience team. We'll give you, a refund. We have a handsome guarantee if you're not happy with our product. We don't question it. And, so this whole ethos of being uncomplicated, guiding, and friendly is really critical to our business.
Mm-hmm. This conversation kind of reminds me of April Dunford's book on positioning, obviously awesome, where she talks about you can take the same exact product and just talk about it differently and it'll be a different company. So, for instance, when we look at your website, it says uncomplicated right there, right? So
Yeah.
uncomplicated, affordable. What if you started talking about retinol and stuff like that instead? You would change the whole company, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, and it's interesting you mentioned retinol. Retinol is one of our best products. It's a phenomenal product. It's not super uncomplicated. If you're doing one of our skincare systems and you're using our retinol stick, it's adding complexity. But the impact of using retinol, and our retinol is in a stick form, and it's in a squalene, which is a olive oil based product, which is, your skin just goes bananas when you put this on your product on your skin.
What does that mean, bananas?
Bananas means it's just happy. Your skin is just as happy as it
Oh,
can be.
good bananas, not bad bananas.
No,
okay.
Good bananas. It's just as happy as it can be. And it's excited and needs more. You wake up in the morning after you put retinol stick on your face and you look better. But it's not, it's not really an uncomplicated story talking to guys like that. But I think what you just said was really interesting because, I was at a conference in San Diego yesterday, and there was a great T-shirt brand there called True Classic. You may or may not heard of them, but they're really a darling of DTC business. They came, from nowhere, and they're a very big company right now. But they sell T-shirts. They're competing against Fruit of the Loom, and they're competing against hundreds of other T-shirts out there, Cuts and Mack Weldon and all these people that make plain white tees, and they're selling a T-shirt, but they're a massive brand. They're talking about their T-shirts in a different way, the way the T-shirt fits. They spend a lot of time on the fit and solving a problem, but they're selling a T-shirt. But they were able to build a business with a slightly different message. With a slightly different revision to a product, they were able to build, a $200 million business in 5 years selling T-shirts. So yes, you could sell the same product and talk about it in a different way, and have a very successful company.
Liquid Death is a little bit like that too, right?
It's an unbelievable story. I mean, it's just an incredible story of selling a commodity product in a unique way, and talking about it in a very unique way. Solving, it's incredible to think that you can solve a problem, right, by selling a commodity product like water, but selling it in a very unique packaging, with a very unique marketing behind it. Creates, no one wants to walk around with a clear bottle at a concert, but they don't want to be drinking beer all night long. And so they're sitting around with a can in their hand that looks really cool and hip, and it's hard to be cool. Very, very, you can't be cool. You just are cool. And Liquid Death is able to do it. They're a cool brand, and nobody that really is cool tries to be cool. So it's very, very, very hard, and they've been able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the early days, you mentioned 5,000 customers, or at least the email list to start with. So you've grown from zero to, you mentioned like 500,000 customers in over, 100 countries?
Yeah.
You mentioned the EU. That's really impressive. What do you think were the key factors that made that happen?
So we're lifetime sales close to $100 million. And I think, it's been insanely difficult. I mean, it's building a business of any sort, from a coffee shop to a direct-to-consumer skincare business to a t-shirt business, is really, really difficult. And it's not a straight line to success. There's lots of curves and lots of challenges, lots of setbacks, but we've done it because our company is unfunded. We're not venture backed, and we've done it by being very economically efficient at running a business while still trying to grow it. And it takes an insane amount of discipline to be economically, capital efficient. And we've been very disciplined about being capital efficient. And the reason why is because I have very good people on the team that are brutally honest and are not afraid to challenge me and to challenge other people in the company about how we spend capital and how we're managing our money. The other part is, I believe that, again, this is just my philosophy on business, is that there are no real shortcuts. If you want to have a successful company, you have to build it brick by brick. I mean, there are no shortcuts. You need internal expertise in important areas of your business, across your business, in finance and in operations, supply logistics, and definitely in our case in marketing and e-commerce. You need expertise in all of those positions. So you just slowly chip away at it until you bring the right people in that really, really understand those disciplines. And if you bring great leaders, hire great people for these roles, and then great people build great teams around them, and it's that those great teams that build great companies.
Mm-hmm. Kelley, so Tiege Hanley is a subscription model. Is it a subscription only, or you don't sell it one-off, right?
We sell one-off, and a minority of our business is one-off. About 30% of our business is one-off purchases, and we welcome people to try our products, and we welcome people to buy our products the way they feel comfortable buying them. So we have people that just buy our product, not on subscription, on a regular basis. And that's fine with us. Whatever's convenient for the customer is good for me.
Mm-hmm. So for people who are trying to make a decision whether to, make a subscription-only brand, what are some of the factors that should go into making that decision?
Yeah, the economics. So subscription businesses are very, very different economics than someone who's going to purchase something one time and you may or may not see them again for 6 months or 12 months or ever. The economics for us is really around understanding what we think a consumer will spend with us over a period of time, and how much money we want to spend. And these terminologies may or may not be familiar with your audience, but how much money we want to spend to acquire a customer on any specific channel. The channel could be Meta, could be Google, it could be Amazon, et cetera, with the understanding that based on all our data and all of our statistical analysis, that a customer will be worth a certain dollar figure for us at a future point. And so how much today are we willing, which could be different than tomorrow, are we willing to spend to acquire a customer based on our estimated earnings of that customer over a future period of time. So you got to be really, really good and dialed into the economics around a subscription. And if you are, then you could afford to spend a lot more money to acquire customers than someone who only expects them to buy one T-shirt and maybe not come back for 6 months. So the economics of it are really good when you get it dialed in.
Mm-hmm. Kelley, let's talk a little bit about marketing. What are some of the channels that work really well for a brand like Tiege Hanley, and what doesn't work? And what do you think that works well now but probably is going to stop working in like 6 months from now?
I think everything that's working now won't be working in 6 months from now. That's how it works. You know, things are constantly changing. So we spend a vast majority of our monthly marketing budget on YouTube properties because we really like what YouTube does in terms of providing content that we're a men's brand, so providing content to men that we think could be a relevant opportunity for us to talk about skincare. So, you know, you and I probably, 10 years ago went on YouTube to figure out how to fix, my washing machine or my dishwasher, and I found, took it all apart and I found a quarter in the drain that someone left in their pocket. But now YouTube's totally different. We're going there for all different types of content. We're going to get an analysis on the election. We're going to learn about current events in Ukraine, and we're learning about how to be a better surfer, or how to wax our surfboard, or whatever it is. And so we really think at Tiege Hanley there's a great opportunity to engage our audiences, male audience, that are seeking specific types of information and are being open to listening to about a small portion of that content about why it's important to take care of your skin.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned YouTube. For the creators who are listening, what kind of qualities do you look for in them when you're collaborating with them?
High engagement in their audience is one of the number one statistic. So it's not actually, channel size is important to us, and where their viewers are coming from is pretty important to us. We have certain metrics around U.S. versus international audiences, but the engagement levels of their content creation and how they engage with their constituents is one of the most important things. If their channel's on a rise, it's and it's on an upswing, that's very important to us as well. Really, and the type of content they're making is really important to us, like how they're talking to their audience, and if they're talking in a truthful, guiding, and type of way that fits with our brand. Even if they're talking about how to make the best French fry, we probably would be interested in talking to them.
Mm-hmm. And how, if it's about how to make the best French fry, how does Tiege Hanley work itself into that video?
I don't know. I guess it's probably important to look good on camera when you're making a French fry. Maybe it has something to control the grease on your face after you've done making it. I'm not really sure. That's what makes content creators so great, right? Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Is their ability to think about our product and introduce it to their audience in a way that we probably wouldn't think about. I mean, the content creators on YouTube are just, they're fascinating. They're providing great value, and they're empathetic, and they have viewers for a reason. They're delivering content that's really engaging and interesting.
Mm-hmm. And on YouTube, you're seeing results much better than what you see on Instagram or TikTok Shop?
They're completely different animals. For us, YouTube is more of it's both a conversion and a top of funnel play. So, YouTube is a very much top of the funnel. People are learning about us for the first time, and they're experiencing the story of the brand for the first time on YouTube. The other channels, like Meta channels, or off YouTube, Google channels, are more middle and bottom of the funnel channels for us. They're not, they're people that have already kind of learned about our brand and want to know more information about our brand and are searching or seeing our brand on other channels. TikTok's a very interesting channel, and it's a channel that we're very, very aggressive with right now. I don't think TikTok at all is like a Meta or a Google platform. It's much more similar to an Amazon platform, and kind of what Amazon was a la 10 years ago. So I really, we're very, very bullish on TikTok as a channel for us, for Tiege Hanley, and we're spending a lot of time and money there.
Mm-hmm. Kelley, final two-part question. what are the top two problems giving you a headache right now? And what are your top two priorities for the year?
Yeah, I think headache, I'm sad to say that 2024 for business was a much more difficult year than any of us anticipated.
Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot going on in the consumer's mind this year. I think consumers are financially fatigued, right? So if you look at coming out of COVID, a lot of people had a lot of cash. They were tied up, in their house. They weren't able to go out. They started going out. They started going to restaurants, and then, 2 summers ago, they started going back out to concerts and doing all of these things, right? They were just out doing things. And then they started traveling again, right? We're going to go to Europe. I heard this summer there was more Americans in Europe than at any other time in the last couple decades. They want to go out to Europe. And then inflation, we've had inflation for over a year, and it's just freaking expensive. Everything's expensive. Now when I go out to dinner with my wife, I split a dinner with her and split a salad with her, and maybe instead of 2 glasses of wine, we only have 1. It's just incredibly expensive. So gas is expensive, Uber's expensive, travel's expensive. And then you combine all of that with, I just don't think people are in a great mood with what's going on. I think so. Consumer sentiment is tracking extremely low. It's up actually a little bit in August, which was good to see. But consumers don't feel happy about things. When they don't feel happy and they don't have a lot of money, they're not going out and spending a lot of money, and they're certainly thinking twice about taking care of their skin. So I think there's a lot of macroeconomics. We just had a 50 basis point cut by the Fed. Not every consumer is dialed into what's going on, in interest rates, but interest rates for houses are now back probably close to 6 or just under. I think we'll see another couple of cuts, and people start feeling after the election a little bit more positive about the economy. Prices come down a little bit, and credit card payments start to come down a little bit as interest rates come down, and I think it'll help the economy a lot. I think it'll be significant. It'll be first, second quarter of next year, we'll see some relief in the economy. So I think that 2024, it's been more of a challenge than I thought. What I'm really looking forward to is just that. I am looking forward to Q4. I think consumers will be, as we get into the end of the year, I think, and we get beyond the election, I think consumers will be, their mind will be off of the state of the country and what's going on. And I think they'll see gas prices come down, and hopefully food prices come down a little bit, and we'll start feeling better about ourselves and spend great, and start thinking about what's important in our lives, which is the people around us, and that's what holidays are all about. So I'm very, very excited about that, and people feeling good and enjoying their holidays and spending some money.
Mm-hmm. Kelley Thornton, thank you for sharing your journey with me.
Thanks, Bora.